What's going on, guys? It's Cliffy here. Today we are playing in our first game of the season for the the South Australian Redbacks. Both play in red. I guess that's where I could have gone and got the confusion from. But playing our first game for the Redbacks this season. It is the second game of the 50 over comp. And we didn't do too well with the bat. We only scored, I think it was around 200. Phil Hughes was only the guy with the real anchor of the innings. I think he batted through, scored over 100. But no one really stuck around with him, which was a real shame. We did hang around briefly. Made 36 off 17 before we went and ran ourselves out stupidly. But we were heading towards, you know, quite a nice score. But speaking of that, it's not over, boys, because we are getting, as we did in the last episode, last week, we got a hell of a lot of swing in this career mode. So we're looking to go and do the same again today. Hopefully continue getting, you know, just that in-swing that we have been getting. It has been very, very effective to the right-handers. Not so much to the left-handers because it is swinging away in the field that we are using, but, you know, we can't complain too much about that. A wicket in our fourth ball of the over, and we're looking as though we are going and bowling a wicket maiden, boys. So what a start. You can't ask for too much more than that. 1 for none off the first over. And as I said, we just get a little bit of in-swing to go and knock over off stump. I was going to say leg stump, but no, we are definitely bowling we definitely bowled, sorry, a right-hander. But enough about that. Today I am going to talk about, well, I guess there is a little bit of cricket that is going on at the moment. Yesterday, the Caribbean Premier League kicked off. I'm not 100% sure who the teams were that played. I haven't checked the scorecard yet either, so haven't really done my homework, which is an issue, but really looking forward to following that and I guess discussing that in this career mode and in my other career modes. And Patterson, he's averaging 43 in 1 days, and we've just gone and knocked him over for a duck. All of a sudden, New South Wales are 4 down, sorry. What am I saying? We've taken 2 for 1 off 1.2 overs so far, and the ball, it's moving, it's doing the talking, and that's what we need to do, defending a low total. As I said, only 240, so 240 is actually not too bad of a score, considering the position that we were in. So hopefully we can go and knock over a few more. But anyway, back to that party, the Caribbean Premier League. As I said, not sure who played in yesterday's game. Yesterday we kicked things off with the first game of the tournament, and so that's something that I am going to be following quite closely. Speaking of close, we almost get a run out there. Beautiful work from the fielder in the deep. But going to be following that closely, and we are going to be keeping up to date with that on the channel, as we do with most T20 competitions that do come around. So that is done and dusted. A game that I did watch the other night was Sri Lanka taking on England. Rain-affected game again. They were saying that rain was going to play a big part in this game. Didn't play a huge major part. Sri Lanka did only get... Oh, I think the game was shortened to 42 overs each side. So, you know, you've only lost 8 overs, which isn't too much of a hassle. Sri Lanka did bat very well. I think they had I think they had 4 players go past 50, which is very good. Very good team effort there. I think it was Mendes. I think Ganakula. I can't say this name right. Ganakula. I don't know. One of the openers. That starts with G. I can never pronounce his name properly. Ganakulika, I think. It's something similar to that. I do apologise if there are any Sri Lankans that are watching and I have just gone and butchered your opening batsman's name. But yeah, he got 1. I think Mendes batting at 3 got 1, and I think both Chandimal and Matthews got 50s too. So they scored, I think it was about 300... I can't remember exactly, but scored over 300. And on the back of an incredible innings from Jason Roy, he is really standing up to be quite an important figure for this limited overs side for the English team. Notched up, I think it was in game 2, because game 3 was washed out. Or possibly I can't remember. In one of the games, this is his 2nd century of the series anyway. So he scored 100 with Hales in, I think it was the 2nd ODI. And in this game here, he scored an unbeaten, I can't even remember what it is. I think it may have been 162 not out, possibly. 162, 132. One of those scores to just carry his side home to the victory. So what an incredible performance from him. There were little bits and pieces that were chipped in here and there just from certain players. I think Butler and Bairstow were the guys at the end that did go and finish things off, snuck things home for the English, and I think they got there with, I think, about 2 overs left to go. So chasing down 200 and chasing down 300 plus, basically in 40 overs is a very good score, and it's a very good chase. And, you know, a lot has happened to this English national side, this England national setup, you know, since obviously their shock exit at the World Cup last year. They have gone, rebuilt, and I think they have rebuilt quite well. Obviously, the results are starting to show for them, and especially in their own backyard, they are very, very dangerous to play, as we have seen in this whole series against Sri Lanka. Obviously, dominated the test matches. They are, I think they've taken an unassailable lead in the one-day internationals heading into the fifth one. I think they are, I think it may be 2-1. I think Sri Lanka may have possibly got a game somewhere here or there, maybe in the first one day, or I'm not 100% sure. It could be 3-0, but definitely there was a game, I think it was the third game, that was rained out, so obviously no result in that one. What a shot that is! They're only going to pick up 2, but it could quite possibly, had it been 5 metres the other side of the fielder, that would have easily raced away to the boundary for 4, but we will go and take that. So we've bowled, I think we've only bowled 4 overs. We've been split up quite a lot here today, but we have made it work quite well. And we have come back very strongly too. 15 overs left to go. There's still about 100 runs left to get on the board, and only the 3 wickets left in hand. So Steve O'Keefe and Sandhu in at the moment. So we just need to go and try and wrap through one of these two, as we did to the openers. And well, sorry, not the openers, but the middle order. And we will go and be, it'll be party time. It will be Caribbean Premier League time. We will be celebrating big time. I don't know how many times I said time just then. I've said it twice in that sentence. So really need to stop saying that and just try and change the subject. I'm not too sure who. I just heard my gate open. I'm guessing someone is possibly going out rather than coming in, because unless, I don't know. Anyway, back to the cricket. That's what we needed, boys. Straight through Stevie O'Keefe. Unlucky, son. That is unlucky that you have gone and played completely around that one. But we have gone and picked up our 3rd wicket for the game. Still gunning for the 5-wicket bag if we can pick up these last 2 of Hazelwood, Sandhu, and I think Dougie Bollinger left to come in as well. But what a comeback that'll be. Outside edge. Wouldn't have carried. Didn't matter where you had a fielder there, unless you had a very attacking like test match field. I don't think they would have gone and carried to anyone, but possibly coming up with a wicket maiden, which is what we have gone and done. So you can't ask for too much more than that. 3 for 11 now. What a comeback to the domestic side we have made so far here today. And I think, as I said, that is only our 5th over. So we still have the opportunity to go and bowl out if we do require. I'm not sure what's going on with this field to Sandhu. We will change it after this ball. I don't even know what field this is. It looks like a leg spin field, but we've kind of got a slip, then we've got a fly slip, which, yeah, I'm not too sure about. It is for leg spin, which we don't bowl. We'll change it back to pace 5, because that is the go-to field. I just feel that that pace defence 5, sorry, not pace defence, pace balance 5 is very handy, especially, I found it good, I guess bowling, I have been taking a few more wickets than I have been in recent times. You do that, you chuck an in-swing to the right-handers, I guess outswing to the left-handers. It doesn't really work as well for left-handed batsmen, but for right-handed batsmen, a very, very good tactic, because even if you do get too straight or too much on the legs, you do have 2 players back there, which we'll demonstrate now. There's a man there. There's also a man at 3rd man as well. So there is plenty of cover back there should you go and get too straight and, you know, allow the batsman to play off their legs. So you still can obviously lose boundaries and leak boundaries, but the chances of that happening are a lot less compared to other fields. So that's, I guess that's just my handy tip of the day of the field to go to. I think back in the day, because a lot of people used to ask what field I used, and I think I used pace 13 from memory. I think that was like the go-to field. Then the patch came out and they kind of changed things. I think that possibly had, I can't remember what it had. I think it had players, it had 2 players at mid-on and mid-off, and then it had a deep mid-on and deep mid-off as well. And this is when players, or AI players I should say, quite often hit down the ground. So basically, if you hit aerial down the ground, you were pretty much gone, because if you mistimed it, it was going to go to the man, you know, the men in close. If you did get a hold of it and didn't get it all the way for a 6, then you're going to be gone as well, because there were 2 guys out on the boundary down there too. So it was a very good field, but I believe it has been changed, you know, since numerous patches have come out, which, you know, is a little bit of an issue. What isn't an issue is, well, I mean, it is an issue. Sandhu's strike rate today, 4 off 29. That is absolutely atrocious, Sandhu. back to the hut for you, son. We pick up our 4th. We've got Dougie to get our 5-wicket bag, and we do have 4 balls left to go on this over. We've only bowled 2, so the 5-wicket bag is still definitely on, boys. Definitely on. And after this, I believe we still have 4 overs left. So we're going to be bowling into the back end. You would have to say that the Redbacks are going to pick up a win in this game with 86 needed off 57. But only the 1 wicket left in the bag. And there's that field coming into effect. As I said, it does work to the left-handers. Not quite as well because you are bowling away from their stumps rather than into them. But if you do get it too straight like we did in that instance there is that cover out there which makes it rather easy to go and just keep it to a 1 as they had done in that last ball. But again, another good over. What a return. What a domestic return we've had so far. Could have been a little bit better with the bat. Obviously 36 off 18 isn't the worst stat in the world, but it was at a time where we did really need to stick around, support Phil Hughes to go and get us towards a decent total. So I believe we are still coming in. We are still bowling. I think we've still got 3 overs left to go after this, so there is still plenty of time, and we just need to sneak one through, or get one to, you know, edge through to the keeper, and then we will be away home laughing, boys. We'll have the 5-wicket bag, we'll have the 36 runs in the bank as well, so it will be a fairly successful game. You can't ask for too much more from that, from your captain returning to domestic duty. There was something I was going to talk about. It was to do with South Australian cricket, and I read it on Facebook originally, and it said Redbacks captain retires, and I thought, hang on, Johan Botha, who I believe is still the South Australian captain, I'm not sure if he has been re-invoked to South Africa yet, or if he is still the captain of the South Australian side, I'm not 100% sure, but I thought he was retiring, and I thought that was quite strange, because he is getting on his international career, but I don't think he's at that stage where he is looking at retiring. Still a very, very good player, very handy player. And there is the last catch, boys. We get Bollinger. We pick up the 5 for 17. But anyway, back to that story. I believe it is the South Australian ladies captain who is retiring. I think she's played 15 years or something and has finally decided that she is hanging up the gloves and the boots for good. What a return, as we can see. Well, you guys can't see, but man of the match goes to myself. 36 off 18. As I said, Phil Hughes, he was the anchor in this innings. 113 not out of 144 balls. And then we back it up with the ball boys. 5 for 17. We haven't seen a performance like that in a while. It is nice to get back to it and back to taking wickets like that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. Do hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please remember to leave a like. If you are new, please do subscribe. Make sure you check out my Facebook and Twitter links. That can be found down below in the description. Hope you guys are having a good week and got a good weekend planned. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. I've got Cricket Coach New Zealand Reborn coming your guys' way. Make sure you do not miss that.